Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our December 2023 OC HMS user meeting. Please enter your agency name into the chat. The topics that we'll cover in this meeting is as follows. We have a new HMS staff update, HMS client consent form update, minimum participation requirement reminder, as well as an audit reminder, HMS Part 2 recertification, HMS support ticket and forms, sending referrals to bed reservation, HICPIT agency setup review. We have some LSA updates, and we also have Clarity report updates, an announcement about the project performance report, some updates about the holidays, and we'll leave some time for Q&A, as well as some time for office hours. We are happy to announce Hugo has joined our team as an HMS support specialist. Hugo has started supporting with HMS help desk tickets. So if you come across Hugo supporting your support ticket, please give him a warm welcome. Armando, could you please give us an update for HMS consent forms?
Hi, good morning, everybody. The HMS consent to share protected personal information form has been updated again this month to reflect the list of currently HMS participating agencies. This form is located under the policy and privacy section of our website and is available in 3 languages, in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese.
Thank you, Armando. So I don't see any questions, so we'll move forward.
We also want to let everybody know that the HMIS Help Desk is still conducting both the HMIS agency audits as well as the minimum participation requirements reviews. The review period for the minimum participation requirements, or the MPRs, is for the July through September 2023 quarter. So if you have received a ticket notifying you that your agency had any findings, we'd appreciate those agencies that have responded and that are working with our team to resolve those findings. If your agency has been contacted about your agency's audit, we'll be reaching out to you at least 2 weeks before the audit to schedule a meeting and to help you complete the HMIS agency audit form prior to that agency meeting.
Thank you, Armando. I don't see any questions for this topic, so we'll move forward. Michaela?
Good morning, everyone. I'll be going over the HMIS Part 2 recertification. The 2023 HMIS Part 2 recertification is now available. Users with read-only accounts or accounts created on or after June 1st are excluded from this requirement. Agency administrators must submit the 2023 HMIS Part 2 recertification form for their users. Users that do not complete the recertification by January 12th will have their accounts locked until the recertification is completed.
Thank you, Michaela. I don't see any questions for the recertification, so we'll move forward.
And here we have the HMIS Help Desk tickets. HMIS Help Desk has received an influx of support tickets. The HMIS team would like to thank you in advance for your patience as we work to provide support and resolve your tickets. Things to keep in mind. 1, only agency admins should submit tickets to the HMIS Help Desk. 2, please provide all necessary details for the HMIS Help Desk team to support with your tickets, such as report names, filters, or client IDs. And then 3, to request for a status update, please reply to the ticket that you've created.
Thank you, Michaela. We do have a question in the chat. The first question is about the audit. So yes, we will be sending the audit information to the HMS agency admin. And within that email, it would provide you information about the forms that need to be submitted and a link to the audit form to fill out. And we will also coordinate with you a time that works with your team for the audit. So please do keep an eye out as we're reaching out to agencies to complete audits for this year. And then we do have another question if there's a link to the recertification. Yes, we do have a link for the recertification that walks you through the process of the steps to complete that task. So we will include the link in our meeting minutes. And Heather, if you can grab that link to share that in the chat as well. Thank you. So I don't see any other questions, so we'll move forward. Heather?
Morning, everyone. The HMIS Help Desk would like to thank you for your continued patience while we work with BitFocus to resolve report issues. To date, canned reports in the report library continue to be updated with more than 30 completed to date. This includes HUD reports and client level reports, such as the client summary and the homeless status timeline. You can find future updates and release dates in the BitFocus Report Library Help Center under the Pentaho Release Notes current year. Any custom reports are updated on a case-by-case basis. So if your agency is experiencing any reporting issues, please have your agency administrator submit a ticket to the HMIS Help Desk.
Thank you, Heather. I don't see any questions about the clarity report, so we'll move forward. Diana?
Good morning, everyone. I wanted to go over an issue that has come up. So regarding sending referrals to the bed reservation. Our CES lead has reached out to us regarding direct referrals that are being made to emergency shelters that participate in the bed reservation system. The programs are set up in such a way that we are unable to restrict or prevent these direct referrals because the programs are made public for reporting and eligibility settings to function properly. The CES leads will delete any direct referrals because they've not gone through the referral workflow for matching. And if your staff needs a refresher on this topic, please review the Adding Households to the Bed Reservation Community Queue, KB. And on the right-hand side, we have a screenshot of how your users should be referring to the bed reservation queue.
Hey, Diana, I don't see any questions. Feel free to add your questions into the chat, and we will also have Q&A if you want to ask during that time. So I don't see any questions right now, so we'll move forward. Andrew?
Hey everyone, in the next few slides, I wanted to give a brief walkthrough about the agency setup review dashboard that we have in HMIS. The agency setup review is a report that was created to give you an overview of how your agency's projects are set up in HMIS, and it has data on program descriptor elements, bed inventory, and funding sources. So to access this report, you want to go to the reporting section of HMIS, then the data analysis tab, and it should be located under Orange County Clarity System Reports in the agency management section.
Thank you, Andrew. And I wanted to note the first bullet point on the slide that you're sharing. It is critical for us to work with each agency to verify that your project setup is accurate, as we need to finalize the bed inventories and update that before our submission for the HIC and shelter pit to HUD.
So in the first section of this report, it's going to show you the program descriptor data for your projects. And you can also filter this report if you want to look at a specific project just for that data for that specific project. But this section is going to have various data elements such as the site address, the project type, and the operating start and end date for your projects. And you want to pay close attention to the operating start and end dates for these projects. Typically, the operating start date should be the first day that the project is serving clients. So if you notice any errors, please let us know by submitting a ticket. And we'll get that corrected so that it's accurately reflected in HMIS.
Thank you, Andrew. I see a question. How do we make corrections to project setup? Is that a ticket? Yes. If you're running the report and you're seeing something that needs to be updated for your project, please, we encourage that agency admins review this and submit a ticket and let us know so the HMS help desk can support you with making those updates and corrections. Andrew, so we'll move forward to the next look in that dashboard.
Yeah, so the next section is the bed inventory section, and this is the one that you want to be reviewing for preparation for the HCPIT, as we need to make sure that the bed inventories are updated prior to our submission. So it's important to note that for this section of the report, projects that serve more than one household type are going to have multiple records for each household type. So for example, if you are running an emergency shelter and you are serving clients of households with children and households without children, you want to make sure that the project is listed with 2 entries, one for each household type that you're serving. And it's important to note also that the bed inventory can change throughout the year as funding sources may change. So it's important to update your bed inventory in HMIS as needed. And if you do notice any inaccuracies, or if a project that you are running changes their bed inventory, please feel free to submit a ticket and we'll get that corrected in HMIS so that it is accurately reflected on your project setup. I don't see any questions for bed inventory, so you can go to the next slide, please.
Thank you, Andrew. So yes, we'll go to the next slide in case there's any other question. Catch it in the next slide. Thank you.
And then the final section of the report is going to be funding sources. So this section of the report is going to list your projects that you're running, as well as the funding source listed for that project. And there can be multiple funding sources for a project, so it's important to keep the funding source end date and grant end date in mind, so that you can submit new funding to HMIS when they expire. So please feel free to submit a ticket if you notice that your funding information is outdated when reviewing this report. Oh, and then, yeah, if you have any other questions regarding the report, please feel free to leave it in the chat. We have an article with a video walkthrough that I think was linked in the chat as well, and that'll be linked in our meeting minutes. And then as it gets closer to HCPIT, we'll also be uploading these reports to your agency Dropbox for agency admins to review.
You, Andrew. I do see a question about a different slide, so we'll go back to that slide. The question is, how are Access Point making direct referrals to the shelter? Just clarification on what they should be doing. So the projects that are set up with eligibility are visible under when sending clients to the queue. So as mentioned, instead of making sure the workflow is going through pushing the toggle bed reservation and then sending to the queue. There may be other tabs that you see before sending them to the queue, but please do follow the workflow of pushing the toggle bed reservation and clicking referral to community queue. And we will follow up with any tickets if you guys have any other questions that's specific to your project or your agency, and we will provide additional information through tickets if you have any specific ticket for participants you're working on, or any referrals that you have questions about. And thank you for your questions. We wanted to provide you all with an update with the LSA timeline. So we're currently finishing up our first round of corrections and warnings. So we are gearing up for the second round of warning flags. During the second round, agencies that still have pending warnings, flags, or any error flags, we will be reaching out and requesting your support with processing those corrections and providing clarification on the warning flags. And our timeline and our goal is to have everything completed and submitted by January 5th. So we want to thank you all in advance for all of your support through this process. So we wanted to highlight some common errors that we have noticed with our LSA submission. And we want to note that errors cannot occur, so they need to be corrected. Warning flags could possibly occur, but most likely aren't. Most likely are not possible. So for any agencies that have error flags, ID 1338, this is stating that your project has enrollments that are outside of your operating dates. So it could be participants that are enrolled before the project start date, or clients exiting after the project exit. So the HMS team uploaded a spreadsheet for each agency that may have had this flag to review the participants that are enrolled in your program and making sure that you adjust the enrollment start date or end date of that participant. And two common warning flags that we have seen in our community file is flag 967 and through 970. Stating that the project that is active in HMS did not serve any participants during the LSA reporting period. There are many factors that may explain why a project served 0 participants during the reporting timeframe of LSA. This could be an error with the project setup. It's important to ensure the information provided in the project setup form is accurate, and you may also use the agency setup dashboard as Andrew reviewed with us previously to ensure that your setup is accurate. Or if there are any changes to your bed inventory, for both cases, we ask that the agency admin submit support tickets to process those corrections. Another error could be that data was not entered into HMIS. If the project did serve participants but not entered in HMIS, that would be an error. And it could be that your project didn't serve any client in this time frame, as it could be possible that the project ended or started towards the beginning or the end of the LSA period. If your project did not serve any participants, please do work with our HMS team to provide clarification and explanation of why your project did not serve any clients during this time frame. And the other common warning flag is 1008, 1014, 1020, which is stating that the project utilization rate is low. This is possible. It could be possible that bed inventory changes for your project that affects utilization. We encourage agency admins to submit tickets and to update bed inventory accordingly so that it reflects the project bed inventory. It could be data error ensuring that participants are enrolled, enrollment and exit dates are accurate. And for emergency shelter that are bed by night project type, please ensure that bed night service is entered so that the participants are accounted for every bed night that they participate in your project. So for any agencies that do have any error warning flags, we do have ongoing tickets with your team. So please do review those tickets and respond and provide us some clarification, and we'll continue to support you all through this process. And thank you for your participation with the LSA corrections. So I don't see any questions for the LSA, so I'll move forward. Linda?
Good morning, everyone. So the project performance report for transitional housing will be published next Thursday. The next project performance report is going to be the emergency shelter. So just be on the lookout for that email for your emergency shelter draft data that would be uploaded into your agency's Dropbox. If you have any more questions or want more information on the project performance reports, we have linked here the project performance overview, which is a helpful document which provides important information regarding the PPR. This includes the threshold for each goal and also our publishing schedule. You can find the current or past project performance reports on our website that we linked here on the slide.
Thank you, Linda. And I wanted to announce that we will be resuming our data management meeting starting in January, and we will provide more information in our January user meeting. The meeting will be held quarterly, and we encourage all agency admins to participate and share feedback on reports. Thank you. Linda?
So just a reminder that Christmas is going to be coming up. So we will be closed on Monday, December 25th through Tuesday, the 26th. And then also Monday for New Year's. And then we will be back in the office to assist you on the following days. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Linda. I don't see any questions, so I'll move forward. We do have some time for Q&A. If you have any questions about the topic that we covered in today's meeting, feel free to enter that into the chat. And if you join us a little bit later on in the meeting, please do enter your name in the chat, your agency name into the chat for attendance. So we did have a question about some materials that we'll be sending out. So yes, we will be including in our recap newsletter, the slides, meeting minutes, and recorded training. I don't believe I see any questions coming in for any topic we covered in the meeting. So we will just want to tell you all, thank you for joining us today. Our next user meeting will be January 3rd. For those who don't want to stay on for office hours, please feel free to hop off, but we'll get started with office hours.